admitted something huge about being a woman. Michelle Obama tore into all the women that voted for Donald Trump today. Like she really, really hates them. Here is the video. She believes that the women that voted for Trump voted against their own interests. Aren't you glad we don't have her as the First Lady anymore? Any woman who voted against Hillary Clinton voted against their own voice, Obama told the audience during a talk at a marketing conference in Boston, according to Boston.com. She then went on to suggest that female voters for Trump and went with the pack. It doesn't say much about Hillary, and everybody's trying to worry about what it means for Hillary and no, what does this mean for us as women? She asked, as reported by the Washington Times. That we look at those two candidates, as women, and many of us said, he's better for me. His voice is more true to me. To me that just says, you don't like your voice. You just like the thing you're told to like. According to polls, 41% of women voted for Trump in November. Share this if you think that Michelle Obama should just go away. We already had to suffer 8 years under her and Obama, and we don't need to see them anymore. Thanks for reading. Trump just said stunned Washington by saying the 4 words they didn't want to hear. President Trump is working hard to bring manufacturing back to this country. He unveiled his tax reform earlier today. President Trump talked about making sweeping tax reform and simplifying the tax code in a historic speech. President Trump made sure it was known that he wants more products proudly swamped with 4 beautiful words, made in the USA. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and I guess it's probably something I could say that I'm very good at, Trump admitted during his Indiana speech. I've been waiting for this for a long time. We're going to cut taxes for the middle class, make the tax code simpler and more fair for everyday Americans. And we are going to bring back the jobs and wealth that have left our country and most people thought left our country for good. We need to show that we want Trump's tax reform. We want him to bring our taxes down and give us the ability to grow as a country again. Let's show him right here by making this go viral. Share this with every Trump fan you know if you want him to lower taxes. Thanks, Patriots. Obama was just busted for hiding something sick in the White House. Despite having been warned not to assign political appointees to career jobs, and being asked by Republicans to avoid keeping workers who opposed President Donald Trump's policies, Obama, of course, did it anyway. Burrowing is where political appointees are appointed to career-level positions by an administration that's on its way out. A GAO report just identified that, in Obama's case, 78 of his appointees had burrowed in by the time he left the White House. Guess which department has the most? The Department of Homeland Security. You read that right. 9 of Obama's people are still working in the Department of Homeland Security. And we wonder where the leaks are? This has been a concern from the beginning, as you can see here. Courtesy of One American News Network via YouTube.com. Of course, I have no evidence that any of those 9 Obama people leaked anything. But that's somewhere I'd sure be looking. Senators Tom Tillis, RNC, and Ron Johnson, Republican Wisconsin, wrote to Obama, urging him not to disrupt Trump's presidency, saying that, burrowing in, further contributes to the possibility that federal workers may attempt to undermine the policies of the new president. But I'm sure that's exactly what Obama intended to do. Burrowing frequently takes place during a presidential transition. Bush did it, too. But that doesn't make me feel any better, especially with Trump's unique presidency and all that's gone on so far. If you want these Obama peeps watched, please comment, watch them, and share to gather comments from all your people. T. Fox News and The Washington Times. Donald Jr. just did something crazy in Canada that could have gotten him killed. Donald Jr. has gone and made headlines again. Not for anything good this time, either. Nope, apparently, he decided to fly off to Canada last week and put his own life at risk. At this point, it's a pretty well-known fact that Trump Jr. is a fan of big game hunting. It's also come out that he is not a fan of having Secret Service. So, when he flew up to Canada for his hunting vacation, he decided to give the Secret Service the slip and leave them behind. He then took a week to himself hunting moose in the Yukon. Look, I get it. Having a full-time bodyguard must be annoying. However, he is the son of the president and needs to be kept safe. If he was kidnapped or killed, the backlash would be unthinkable. None of us want to force the Trump kids to feel trapped by their circumstances, but for the sake of their country, they need to be protected. I think we can get them to understand that by sharing this out everywhere and letting them know that we care for them and want their safety. Last night Tucker Carlson broke down and said the one thing leftists did not want getting out. Apparently even a man like Tucker Carlson has a breaking point. Last night, the former Republican strategist broke down on Fox News and said the one thing the left has been trying to make America forget. Tucker made an opening plea for America to realize that leftists have neutered the term racist despite racism being a bad thing. You know, it wasn't that long ago when calling someone racist was a big deal. It was a devastating attack on a person's character, if not blood libel. Now, everywhere you look, people just barely to the right of Al Gore are being denounced as white supremacists, white nationalists, neo-Confederates. He is very right, too. It's sad to see so many not racist people being labeled a racist simply for being a conservative. That's all it takes these days to trigger an Antifa attack. Tucker points out that Americans used to recognize that bad working conditions hurt blue-collar black folks just as bad as blue-collar white folks. The divide has never been truly racial and, as a country, we used to know that. Tucker Carlson and myself both like to believe that the Republican Party is the true party of tolerance and unity. Even if we don't agree with another Republican on everything, we welcome them with open arms to help defend our Constitution. Spike Lee insults Gold Star parents right to their face, but the father's response shut Spike Lee up for good. Spike Lee is known for his ignorant and racist views, but one Gold Star family put him in his place at a town hall debate on CNN Wednesday night. The parents of Staff Sergeant Louis Benacosa confronted Spike Lee and explained to him that when these NFL players kneel for the national anthem, it's slap in the face to military families. How do you support these multimillionaires on their knees, and don't support what the fallen heroes died for? Mr. Benacosa asked. Spike Lee's answer could not have been more condescending. Although he did apologize for their loss, Lee went on to tell the family how wrong they were for their feelings. All these players have said, many times, that they respect the armed forces, Lee said. They respect the flag. And they respect America. And this narrative that when they take a knee, it's insulting your son who is no longer here, is not true. Mr. Benacosa was clearly not satisfied with Spike Lee's answer and asked a powerful follow-up question. When North Korea aims a nuclear missile at us, are these heroes that you say, NFL players who can't support our flag, are they gonna be on their knees when this happens, or are they gonna support our veterans? He asked. Spike Lee was taken by surprise and of course dodged the question by cowardly directing the conversation to Trump and insulting our president. Sir, I'm worried just as much about Donald Trump as that crazy guy in North Korea. And he has a nuclear code. I'm worried about that, Lee said. A panelist can be heard agreeing with Spike Lee's disgusting anti-American comments. I think it's safe to say that Spike Lee embodies everything that is wrong with our country. Busted. This shocking new evidence will help Trump bury the crooked media and the Dems want it gone. President Trump made waves when he first began calling out major media outlets for their unfounded and biased reporting, but more evidence continues to surface that proves President Trump is right. ABC, CBS, and NBC all decided to ignore the worsening humanitarian crisis in Puerto Rico, and instead gave nearly 4 times more coverage to the NFL's disgusting protest. Despite the network's intention to shine a brighter light on Trump, most Americans are fully aware of the devastation recently inflicted by Hurricane Maria. Many families on the island are still struggling to find food and water, and officials say the power for the entire island won't be restored for at least another month. With all that being said, research by the Media Research Center proves the morning and evening news shows on the Big Three broadcast networks focused solely on President Trump's feud with the NFL. Between September 24 and 25, the networks spent 92 minutes of airtime on the battle over whether or not athletes should stand for the national anthem. During the same time frame, they spent just 25 minutes on the devastation in Puerto Rico. Networks thus spent 3.6 times more of their airtime on the Trump NFL spat. ABC News had the worst disparity, spending nearly 53 minutes on the NFL and just about 8 minutes on Puerto Rico, a 7-to-1 ratio. Sickening tactics to garner ratings have always been a staple of leftist media, but this goes way over the line. People are lost and dying in Puerto Rico, but anything to bash President Trump will apparently always come first. Do you think it's time for President Trump to hold all the major networks accountable? Let us know in the comments and share this so the world knows Trump was right. Sources: dailycaller.com